Welcome to Psychology Refresh. Today we're going to go over what MBTI personalities don't like about school. Make sure to watch each one and find out what those things are. Each personality type has some things they don't like about school, and we have assigned each one of the 16 personality types the things they detest the most. Find out what it is and determine how you can use this knowledge in reaching personal growth and self-improvement. Here is what MBTI personalities don't like about school. Number 1. ISTJ. Children with ISTJ personalities are responsible, grounded, and very analytical. They typically perform well in school, but they don't like being around others all day. Due to their nature as introverts, they typically think and perform better when given time to consider what they have learned and when working in a calm, serene setting. It can be exhausting for them to have to move from a busy classroom to a busy classroom all day. They appreciate the way school is organized, but they only wish there was more time for focused, independent study. Another thing they don't enjoy is being called on in class on the spot without having time to prepare. ISTJs prefer to mull over the details for a while before answering and having to. ISTJs find it frustrating to have to respond right away to information since they want to consider the details for a time before making a decision. They dislike feeling under pressure to speak up more in class and behave more outgoing than is comfortable for them. Number 2. ISFJ. Children that identify as ISFJs are diligent, realistic, and caring. Lack of alone time to properly comprehend the content is one of the areas where kids frequently struggle in school. ISFJs can become overstimulated by the noise and activity in the classroom because they learn best in a calm, serene setting. They dislike being called on in class when they hadn't had a chance to comprehend what the teacher has said. Usually, they require some time to process what they are learning before they can answer. Dealing with teachers who compel a lot of rivalry and competition is another area they despise. Instead of constantly being pressured to compete, earn the best grades, make the best presentations, etc., ISFJs need to feel appreciated for the outstanding work they are already doing. Despite this, ISFJs frequently achieve academic success and earn marks that are above average. Number 3. ESTJ. Student ESTJs are accountable, competitive, and ferociously rational. Despite the fact that they frequently love education more than many other personality types, they become irritated if the curriculum emphasizes abstract theory rather than real-world application. They want to be challenged and given chances to succeed, and they want to know precisely how their studies will affect them in real life. When there is no structure or established pattern in the classroom, ESTJs may feel unmotivated. They are more likely to lose patience with a teacher who is easily distracted or who doesn't explain topics in a logical sequence. They detest classrooms that prohibit discussion and collaboration. They want the freedom to express themselves, ask questions, collaborate with others, and move around a little bit. And it can be oppressive for them to sit still for 8 hours a day. If you are enjoying our content, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. Number 4. ESFJ. ESFJs are typically social, pragmatic, and dedicated students. Despite their propensity for academic success and statistically above-average marks, they can suffer under the strain to constantly deliver the best. They may find the constant testing and the intense competition to be overwhelming, particularly if there is no emphasis on personal development and no customized instruction to take advantage of each student's unique talents. They want their professors to affirm them, and when they feel like their strengths are valued, they are more driven. They may feel unmotivated and unhappy if school is very impersonal. The teachers don't make an effort to connect with students, or the emphasis is placed more on test scores than the application of theoretical knowledge. They want to see the practical applications of what they are learning and put it to good use. They feel considerably more capable and motivated when given chances to apply what they've learned in actual situations. Number 5. INFJ. INFJs are autonomous, creative, and strategic thinkers. They dislike having their time carefully scheduled, and a by-the-book educational approach may bore them. Repeating facts, formulae, and quotations will severely sap their motivation. They considerably appreciate a challenging learning curve and ongoing exposure to fresh, original concepts, theories, and issues. They are interested in the long-term effects of what they are learning, and if it seems archaic or overly conventional, they can rebel. They also struggle with having to interact with people for the majority of the day. Instead of being in a classroom full of pupils, they typically think best when they may be by themselves in a calm setting. Their inferior function, extroverted sensing, might be triggered by the classroom environment's volume, emotions, bright lights, and general commotion, which can make them feel anxious and overburdened. They feel more capable and at ease in the classroom when they receive regular pauses to study alone in a peaceful environment. Number 6. INFP. INFPs detest being in a system of education that produces students one after the other without giving any thought to their individuality. They find it frustrating to have to spend the entire school year sitting stationary at a desk, repeating facts, and towing the line. They want to be imaginative, innovative, and open to trying new things. They find monotonous repetition and minute detailed work to be suffocating, and frequently experience mental digression into their own creative imaginations. Additionally, INFPs detest it when teachers favor or glorify pupils who perform well on standardized tests while neglecting the originality and unconventional thinking of other students. They detest having to fit into a setting that prioritizes exam scores and regurgitating information that has been taught for millennia. Number 7. ENFJ. More than other personality types, ENFJs frequently take pleasure in education, its social environment, and the chances it provides for learning. However, if they don't get along with their professors, or if the emphasis is solely on memorizing knowledge and exam scores, they may develop depression. They detest having the impression that they are merely one of several other students who are required to adopt identical behaviors. They want to be creative, have relationships, and provide praise in addition to receiving it. They strive to develop concepts that have broad ramifications and repercussions. They tend to lose motivation and become listless if education is excessively conventional, impersonal, and devoid of many opportunities for creative expression. They must believe that they can make a difference in the classroom, that they can assist others, think creatively, and work with others to develop concepts with long-lasting effects on others. Number 8. ENFP. Innovation, originality, and big ideas are what ENFPs are all about. They detest doing things by the book or exactly as their teacher has instructed them, without any alterations the most. They detest being forced to memorize things. ENFPs constantly seek out fresh information and find rote repetition and habit to be uninspiring and demotivating. When they are given a math issue to solve or a project to complete, they probably won't want to accomplish it the manner that has been demonstrated. As a result, individuals frequently get into trouble with teachers who prefer that students follow instructions exactly as they have been instructed. Even though ENFPs frequently have bright children, they frequently have trouble in elementary school because the bulk of the teachers there are introverted sensing types. The rigorous, sequential, and traditional teaching style used by SI professors tends to conflict with the ENFP's innate preferences. Number 9. ISTP. ISTPs are very independent, analytical, and problem-solving oriented. They frequently have a sense of suffocation and confinement as a result of how rigidly structured school is. They dislike the idea of having to sit quietly at a desk all day and regurgitate the same facts. ISTPs desire the freedom to think critically, to play the role of the opposing viewpoint, and to experiment and fail in order to learn. They like to use logic and solve problems, although they prefer to work alone or in a team environment. Because they typically prefer to work independently, excessive team projects and presentations may demotivate them. Most young ISTPs believe that education is boring and does not feel it prepares them for the actual realities of everyday life. Their entire school experience can be improved if they are placed with a teacher that recognizes their talents, respects their working style, and provides them room to ask questions. Number 10. ISFP. Due to their free-spirited, creative, and realistic character, ISFPs may feel weighed down by the rigid structure of most schools. Overly abstract studies may seem uninteresting or worthless to them, since they learn best when they can immediately apply what they are learning to real-world situations. They frequently experience a sense of control in educational environments when they are required to pay attention to repetition, rush from class to class, and strive for passing test scores. They may feel too much pressure, competition, and a rigid schedule all the time. They want to apply what they are learning in the real world. They are far more motivated when they can operate at a leisurely pace and are surrounded by things that spark their innate creativity. When their professors encourage them and value their particular talents, they feel more capable of learning. Number 11. ESTP. ESTPs are independent, analytical, and action-oriented. They frequently detest how rigidly planned and disciplined most schools are. ESTPs learn best when they can move, react, reply, and experiment, much like ESFPs do. They desire practical experience and demonstrations of what they are learning. They may feel quite stifled and demotivated by having to spend the entire day moving from class to class and sit stationary at a desk. Despite their propensity for excellence in the sciences and reasoning, they can become bored by repetition or a focus on more abstract subjects. They will be much more motivated if given the opportunity to stand up, move around, and do something with what they are learning. Number 12. ESFP. ESFPs are practical, individualistic, and action-oriented. They consequently tend to detest the overly regimented, boring nature of most school environments. They learn better when they can stand up, move around, and be active while learning because they have extroverted, feeling-dominating personalities. Unfortunately, most educational systems force kids to spend hours at a time at their desks while they remain stationary. This tends to divert young ESFPs and make learning more challenging for them overall. Although ESFPs and ESTPs enjoy the social parts of school, they are arguably the kind that receives the least attention in the actual classroom. ESFPs also have a tendency to lose motivation if they aren't given the opportunity to be creative, or if their teacher is very cold and doesn't compliment them on their good work. Number 13. INTJ. INTJs are creative, analytical, big-picture thinkers who typically detest school's by-the-book routine. An INTJ will typically prefer some quiet time to reflect before solving a problem completely in their thoughts or coming up with an alternative solution. As a result, it irritates them to have to answer math problems and record data without having any time for creativity, introspection, or innovation. They also struggle with how intensely social school is. Being forced to spend more than 8 hours a day around other students can be difficult and demoralizing for these introverts. In a calm, quiet setting where they may work individually to accomplish significant objectives, INTJs perform at their best. They are typically excellent self-motivated learners if given tasks to do or issues to resolve, but they detest feeling as though everything must be completed in a bustling classroom setting. Number 14. INTP. Students that are INTPs are self-motivated and like exploring their own interests imaginatively and at their own speed. They dislike having to put in a lot of effort into repetition, memorization, and detail work. It may seem pointless to them in the larger scheme of things to work on things like their penmanship or memorize proverbs. They would much rather concentrate on classes that instruct them in argumentation, creativity, and logic. They frequently have miscommunication in the classroom and are even called lazy or distractible because they are more driven to satisfy their own standards than those of external authorities. They will find their minds wandering to more exciting topics if they are not pushed and have a steep learning curve. They usually do well in conceptual studies, math, science, and the arts, but they would perform better if they had more free time to study instead of time that was too structured and repetition-focused. Number 15. ENTJ. ENTJs are driven, creative, and strategic thinkers. They consequently dislike intuitions that don't push them, require students to follow procedures exactly, and make them concentrate heavily on minute details. They may become disinterested and bored if they have to spend an excessive amount of time practicing their handwriting, memorizing proverbs, or repeating information. They are more likely to become dissatisfied with the entire process if they aren't challenged or exposed to new concepts and theories on a regular basis. If they can concentrate on reasoning, join a debate team, or are given chances to demonstrate their skill through individual innovation, they will succeed. Number 16. ENTP. ENTPs want an atmosphere that encourages innovation, brainstorming, collaboration, and discussion. They detest having to concentrate on rote memorization and repetition the most in school. They dislike being forced to follow procedures without having the freedom to improvise. They will find things like an excessive emphasis on small details like impeccable handwriting annoying and ultimately pointless. They also tend to dislike conditions in which they must remain stationary while copying down information verbatim. They enjoy working together, conversing, and exchanging ideas with other students and teachers. They would much rather experience a rapid learning curve and a steady stream of fresh concepts to experiment with and consider. These videos will be really helpful for you.